Hey, Rob Smith here. It's December the 35th, 2057, and now I have you checking your watches and your clocks, and about time. Check your watches and clocks, please. I'm starting a. I was gonna. I was real. I keep trying to start at noon. I've only been fortunate. I've only been able to do that. I think once since I've been starting to try to do this earlier. 2 o'clock seems to be more my thing. Today is Inktober. It's also a Navy Day, and I want to get Cattober in there too. But what to draw, I don't know. Well, if I know one thing I can do. Something I've done a few times. Just go over to Facebook and see what's popping up there. See what my friends might be putting there. Today's been Bill Janoka's birthday. Happy birthday, Bill Janoka. Not that he's going to tune in. He was a basically completely unknown. Well, that's not quite fair. Mostly unknown part of Mart Walker's Beetle Bailey, and worked for the Walker family, doing a whole bunches and bunches of stuff. Uh, and let's see, there's Ernest T. Bass review. I really enjoy his posts. This is how I used to be when I was entertaining all the time. I guess he hasn't been doing it as long. After so many decades, I'm a bit jaded, I guess. There's Christine Moore. They're cutting down trees. And she's using acronyms. PONA. I have no idea what PONA. PONA. What could that stand for? Uh, Podiatrist on nose alarms. There you go. Let's see what else we got. Kurt Metz, Marshall Richards. What's this? Catherine Wendell posts something about on a dark desert highway, cool whip and a bear. This is what AI does. It's bad. I'm gonna. I have a speaking of which, I have a book project to pencil. I'm thinking about doing it here. Which I may. Am I live? Let me check myself. No, I'm not live as usual. Okay, let me comment on something real quick. I think I did a little bit before. I'm just looking. I picked this up about a month ago now, I guess. Batman Odyssey, and I've gone through this many times. It's Neil Adams. I talk a lot about Neil Adams. Huge fan. Wow, in his later years, we had a lot of blood, a lot of cuts. But he's such a great illustrator. I love these black and white to color. I love this. This is the black and white, or actually, this is the pencil, and this is the inked. But God, look at his blood and guts, and his stories. He did about 3 or 4 different graphic novel type things, and they don't make sense. They're just ridiculous nonsense. He comes up with the weirdest little characters in them. They're just weird. There's some great artwork. Something else I noticed this time: teeth. Everybody's got perfectly white teeth. Where's these? Well, there's drawings here with Batman. This goes on and on. This is like days and months going by. Look at these teeth. See those teeth? That's ridiculous. Not everybody has perfect teeth like that. No, I don't. And he gets to somewhere near the end here. Everybody, look, dead man. Dead man's dead. Looks like he goes to a dentist, but he's dead. It's funny. Adam's big thing was basing things in a sense of reality. As he aged, he really shifted off into weird places about such things. Where he's like, see, there you go. Look, this is a weird creature. Look at the teeth. He's flossing every day. Where's he getting his floss from? I think Neil Adams believed there was an underworld underneath where we are, in the middle of the earth. And he did a number of stories about that. He was quite insistent about it. Yet there's zero. Here, look, perfect teeth. This guy's fly. He lost. They're a little jumbled, but they're perfect. Nothing's missing. Why does he even have teeth? It's a monster. And I know I'm being a little picky, but it's just that the teeth thing keep popping up. I'm really, I should be blaming the colorist who did way too much with bats. Oh, hello, crossover paranormals there in North Carolina. It's easier to say North Carolina than say crossover paranormal. But this teeth thing is just. And I blame the colorist. I mean, if this all this coloring wasn't here, those white should have given a little color. When you're doing shading into the face, do some shading on the teeth. Maybe some yellow. After I don't know how many weeks goes by in this story, but Batman's teeth are just not going to be perfectly white like this. So, I mean, all right, I won't blame Adams for it, but I'll blame the colorist. Just went too far. But these are. Also, I don't remember Batman having such significant teeth before. But these are great rats he drew and inked. And this is a project he took on himself, and he did this. I think that's right. Oh no, I apologize. He had inkers from Michael Golden, Scott Williams, Bill Sienkiewicz, Paul Neary, Josh Adams, his son, and Kevin Nolan. So he had a lot of inkers in here, not just him. Maybe put something in between the teeth, like some. Anyway, I do not recommend this. I don't think I even got through reading it. I tried reading a couple of his. I read through one just so I could review it, and it's just so preposterous. I mean, there we go. There's a teeth thing. Is this Batman or an ad for the local dentist office? I don't. It's strange. So maybe it's the inker's fault too. All right, enough of that. This is Batman Odyssey. I think came out because he died now 3 years ago. Well, this is a cover actually of one of the books. 2018 or something like that. Is that right? Someone should have pulled his ticket. 2012. I apologize. Someone should have pulled his ticket on this and said, "All right, Neil, back off." But how could you tell someone like Neil Adams that? Well, you need to sometimes. Editors are a good thing. How are you doing, crossover? If you're still here, okay. So what to draw here? Maybe it's a bunch of things with teeth. Oh, and it's Navy Day. So let's see what. I'll just start. I'm using my little Stabilo, which I rarely do. It's hard to see it though, isn't it? Let me see. Yeah, it's real hard to see this. Let me go to something you can see. I apologize. I'm thinking about working on the pencils for this book here, just to make sure I get it done. Maybe I should draw a sea creature. That's right, monsters. Age definitely affects writing, drawing, whatever. It ain't the same. I'm good. Just hang around. Yeah, I've been working, doing this and that. I was gonna start at noon, but then this came up and that came. I need to call it HostGator. I realize they really did a number on me. I need to call them. I have no idea what I'm drawing right now. I think saying this is a sea creature is a good idea. I just know when I call HostGator, I got to deal with all these people who don't know how to speak English, and what they did was the idea is to get my sites back up, but instead they told me my site, Rob Smith Jr., was up for sale. I said it is. I just figured these people were actually looking at my records so they could see what my site was. It turns out they were looking at a different site with Junior spelled out, Junior. I knew my site was still around because my site's still there with what I have of it. And so they ended up getting me to purchase it. but it was because I couldn't really understand what the heck they were saying. There's some teeth. Well, I don't want this. I don't want that site name. I've got enough problems, and I want my sites back. So, and I know the problem is that they took it down when they did an update. They say now that it's a, I've been hacked. I know when I've been hacked, but in this case, I haven't been, and I'm not clear if they're saying I was hacked for the JRs or the JUNIO. You hear, see the confusion. You speak to these people, or you try to, in the Philippines who can't speak, and this is what happens. So I got to get them. Then I got a message from them on Saturday. Well, we've got that. We've got that. You have to go to our site lock site and sign up for it. And we'll get the hackers out. But the hackers aren't my problem. Oh my gosh! And when you try to talk to the site lock people, they're about the salesmen, and they're not interested in talking to you. So I've got to go in with both guns blazing to try to get this straightened out. I'm not looking forward to it. I could lose my temper pretty badly. What's amazing to me is this keeps happening to me, and I'm now really thinking this has a lot more to do with HostGator than anything else because it keeps coming back to them trying to sell me site lock and not fixing the problem, which has been going on for over a year now. By the way, I don't know what kind of fish this is, but I hear it's great for grilling, especially if you get site lock. That's what the HostGator told me that. I guess I've been with HostGator for 20 odd years. That also angers me. If I just joined them, I'd understand. Maybe okay, this is new and they're figuring it out. But 22 years, same website name, same. Not, I just like to get some work done, and I end up spending all this time chasing. And I don't know if I can get resolved. I bet they'll say it's too late. You've already bought it. I guess this is Neil Adams influencing this with all these little weird creature things. For Octopus Day for Swamp Beach, Florida, I had an octopus. Well, I can't remember now. There was a reason I only gave him, I think, 4 legs. It's a kind of octopus, but I don't have the wording to it because it's locked up in my Swamp Beach, Florida page that HostGator can't get me back to. Now, that one may have been hacked. I'm not clear. But as things are coming together, it more and more appears that it is also HostGator causing it, as they were specifically responsible for my personal website going down. If you have any thoughts or like to comment, please do. Oh, if you like anything I'm doing here, a thumbs up is appreciated. I usually draw cute things. And that's this book project is a bunch of little cute creatures. He's on a rock of some sort. Just making this up as I go. I have no idea what I'm doing. We'll do next. I'm drawing a shadow. This is supposedly underwater. Is the thought. So there would be no chateau here. Sean, yeah, great, great number 3 in your series. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Yeah, that was, a bunch of those folks in your part 3 are new. Uncle Fred Lassell was a really great guy. Funny how it appears he lost a lot of his southern accent being around his New York City wife, Shirley. Shirley could be a handful. I didn't really care much for being around her. Not much for New York types. But Fred was a great guy. He lived in Tampa, you know. I went to his funeral. That has some interesting stories connected to it, but that's for another time. And John Rose is him and Karen are really, really good folks. I haven't seen them since I've been away from the National Cartoon Society. We're still connected through Facebook, but that's about. And I could probably arrange to go to a Southeast chapter meeting, but I haven't. I haven't been able to the last couple of years. Maybe I'll try to one of these times. But they've been doing kind of virtually too, I know. I know a bunch of those folks. John's a good guy. Tried to get with him when I was in North Carolina for 3 months, but we couldn't make that work happen. In fact, I saw no cartoons. Jack Pittman and I tried to get together, but I couldn't get him to drive to meet me halfway. So I said, oh, I'm not going to do it. Because he basically lives where he does, which is more center, excuse me, east of the state, and then he goes out to the coast to their water. Why people have homes near water. But it's only because I know the history. You don't want to be near water. Don't ever live near water. Don't live on the edges of the banks of anything. It's just extremely dangerous. I thought all of Fred's archives were in at Ohio State. Pretty sure they are. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know where they'd be in Tampa because Shirley's gone too now. I don't know who has them. I'm not very clear. I guess he had relatives. They didn't have children. I don't know. Who would know is John. No, I'm pretty sure they're at Ohio State University. 'Cause I don't know where they'd be. I hope they're not with a. Well, he. Let's see. I'll check. I think. I don't know if they were transferred. I think they went straight there. But Shirley's thing was money. She was a big money stock market person. So if there was value there, that would be it. I don't know where they'd be. For example, involving history, you have the Tampa. You have these two kind of battling historical society museum things going on. I just stay, as much as I'm involved all over our state, that's one thing I've kept away from. It's just ridiculous. A lot of it's the downtown, so downtown promoters wanting certain things. And, the idea is to preserve history. Stop the nonsense. I know there were some good people there, but I don't know who's there now. I've really not got involved. That's one group I've not gotten involved with. I've been involved in certain ways, but I'll see Deb Tamargo next week. I know she's involved. Deb's family goes back to the 1800s. What on earth did I do to stir my sinuses? Was it this pen? I thought I was using a different pen. Okay, yeah. Don't even know what pen I'm using. I'm back using the Zebra. I thought I'd picked up one of the SEPA. This is what happens when you look at Neil Adams just before you start drawing anything. Start drawing angry creatures. This is my salute to Naval Day. I'm a big supporter of our Navy. Done a bunch with our naval air stations here, entertaining our troops. Hope to do more. So I salute all of our Navy. Though my family is all Air Force. Yeah, because am I understanding correctly, Jenny Robb is no longer curator. There's some other lady, and I've had no dealings with her at all. I saw a picture and something about curator. Now, let's see, who else did you have on there? I'm not a fan of Jim Davis as a person. That's mostly coming. You can tell if you ever meet him. And I've heard way too many stories about him. He's not a good guy. I think he's like some of the others who try to make up for it when they get older. Jerry Lewis being one. He was one who was really a really rotten guy as he was trying to gain fame and fortune, but then really tried to make up for it in his later years. Oh, looks like Billy Ireland. Really? Okay, so Jenny Robb is not. What's Jenny Robb doing then? Yeah, Jim Davis. Not Jim. Yeah, Jim Davis is not a. It was really horrible to the people he worked with. By the way, today's Bill Janoka's birthday. Bill is not a happy camper with what happened to him with the Mort Walker folks, which sounds like not as bad as what I've heard about Jim Davis and the Garfield. Because, Davis, unlike the thing with Schultz, was that he did all the strips, and when he died, it ended. Of course, then it metamorphosized into Peanuts LLC, or Peanuts, was it Peanuts Gal or Peanuts Kingdom or something like that, LLC. That was this big thing, making money all over the place. Who did I just see posting about that? Oh, my friend Laurie. I'll see Laurie later this week. Tell her about what's going on with. She's upset that the Halloween Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown isn't available to folks today. I agree, but that's what's been happening with the Peanuts thing. If Schultz was around, that would not be happening. But Genie's a much more money oriented person than he was. And I think also they're trying to keep that giant ice skating rink and museum and all, and they need to bring some money. And I think they've gone too far though. And the problem with the Great Pumpkin is that the network TV is a thing of the past. Most young people don't even know what network TV is. And there's just you've got to bring a lot of money in. And when you've got three major monopolies across the planet like Sony, they're not going to carry that. Where are they going to get it? Also, it goes against their belief system and what makes money, so they're not going to do it. Something got my sizes going. It must be. What is this? Can't imagine this pen. But I've had that problem before doing these. Ooh, I started drawing a fish and I quit over here. Oh, really? Yeah, folks, did the strip and all. Apparently, Jim Davis was a bit of a monster about it all, especially that he didn't do the strip. And I understand wanting to keep quality and all, but you gotta treat your people good. And he just got full of himself. I understand this was particularly bad in the '90s, so maybe he's trying to make up for it these days. As I said, so many do realize, geez, I was a real nasty person. Time to be nicer. It's so much so that I've had opportunity to meet him, and I just wasn't interested. I wasn't interested. Kind of like politicians, I know that I don't care for. I don't go out of my way to meet them. I've been around him, but that's all. And I really never thought that much. I've never been. I'm a huge kitty person. Oh, I haven't included a kitty here. Ray Billingsley is really a really good person. He comes across that way, and I only spent a little time with him with the NCS. He's rather shy guy. Oh, I think you have Maury Turner too. Maury Turner was someone that did something very nice for my elementary school art teacher, who, by the way, lives kind of due west of where Paranormal is in North Carolina. She somehow got Maury Turner to talk to me on the phone when I think it was in elementary school still. And I remember talking to him on the phone. He's way out there, out west. Nice fellow. He didn't. Why did he talk to a dumb kid? I don't know, but that was very nice. So my similar dealings with Ray Billingsley, just as an adult, very very nice person. I forget who else was on there right now. So you're in Ohio. Well, the Ohio chapter of the National Cartoon Society has always had really good people in it. It's been a good chapter. So the faces have changed many times. Have you talked to Mark Serrati? Okay, he's not a big name, but hey, he's. I wouldn't have been syndicated around the country if it wasn't for Mark. A lot of folks, I think, have the stories of Mark, things Mark did that really helped them. And he does a big on here YouTube. He does a shaving thing, and that's Szorady. He does a shaving thing. Has a huge following. He's a really good guy. He's in Cincinnati. Oh, you're not. Where are you? You're not in Hirschfeld. Oh, yes. I only met Hirschfeld once in New York City. I could have done a lot more with him. It just when people have such a fan base and so many want to get to him, I just let them do it. As I say, I met a lot of celebrities, big names in the '80s. Uh, Not just you know, I guess you call them TV movie stars, but also politicians, presidents and governors and so on. It's hard to really get me to say, oh, ooh, I've got to go meet this person. I mean, people still put me in awe. I'm always be in awe of Jack Davis, thinking I was a friend, which I have trouble with. Still, will always think. I love thinking about that, but and it was him saying that, not me. I don't think that's reading right. I'll make it too dark or else it's gonna. So when it was at New York City National Cartoon Society thing. Gary Trudeau, and his wife were there, and I wasn't interested in meeting them, but I did meet. Well, I met my dear friend Debbie Schaefer. She she did exactly what she was told not to do, and that was to basically. Debbie has a way of doing these things. But she hugged him and got an autograph, and he loved doing it because that's how Debbie is. Debbie has a way about her. I love Debbie. She's over in Philadelphia. This is my happy naval day by going under the sea with monsters. Oh, Guy's a real good guy. Well, Guy's kind of weird in a sense. Oh, you're in Indiana. Okay, you're not in Ohio. That's right, because Davis isn't in Indiana. Sorry, I was getting the Ohio State thing mixed in my head. Hold on, I don't know about this reputation, but I know Davis worked for you 10 years on tumbleweeds. Yeah, I don't know how those two got along because oh shoot, I just lost his name. Who did tumbleweeds? Dang it, my head's all stuffed somehow for some reason. But he was a really nice guy, and I love his Tom Ryan loved his work. I don't know. I guess maybe just because Davis got Garfield and became a big thing, and he became a monster from it. Uh, it's unfortunate, but I certainly see it happen more in politics than anything. TK Ryan, yeah, didn't that what I said? Tom. But anyway, Guy Gilchrist is what is he? Like 6'4". He's a really big guy from Connecticut. And this really big guy has this weird little voice. And it's strange. Very, very strange. But making it stranger is that he keeps his hair growing long. I have a high school pal that keeps growing his hair long. He's also 62. And just there's a time where you cut your hair. Look, because he's also wearing that big coat and he wears those sneaker shoes he always wears. He's trying to have an image. If it's working for him, great. And he's just everything's become Muppets with him, which I think is unfortunate because one time everything was Nancy. Now it's all Muppets. He obviously has. I've only learned this from the social media, but he obviously has an obsessive issue that probably should get solved to some extent. Golly, that I just realized how this has a little bit of a Jack Kirby feel to it, though I have it all blocky in a way. But yeah, he's a very strong Christian, and I don't like puppets, so I'm not a. I love what he was doing with Nancy. I was sorry that ended, but I know that daily stuff is murder. I haven't signed this. So there's a kitty. Oh no, I'm forgetting the not having the tail again. Kitty getting wet. Come to dig in. Yeah, if you cross Gilchrist's path, I'm sure he'd be just prepared to have Muppets tossed at you in every direction. If you love Muppets, there's the guy to go talk to these days. And he's a really good illustrator. Fantastic drawer. I don't think he'd remember me. It's been so many years, and I didn't spend that much time with him. When last time, last NCSs, no, not the last ones, but a bunch of them. When I was married with Sandra, and we didn't interact as much as she with folks. When you're married, you tend to interact more with couples, which I did. He didn't have anybody with him, as I recall. I know he's since had somebody come and go, but I didn't spend much time with him at all. Before that, I didn't either. I don't think he was around much in the '90s. But the Muppet thinks he's to be working at it, considering how horrible it is. This business is. I'm glad he's found a niche that's working for him. What's that? That look okay? I should get back out this other thing. Maybe I should leave it all alone. Yeah, I wish you'd gotten to Ryan. That would have been neat. That's if I recall, not a lot's known about him. I was really surprised when I went to the Cartoon Art Festivals there in Columbus, Ohio, how little was known about so many cartoonists out of there because there's so many, and they don't seem to keep track. Though they get together, they don't seem to keep much track of each other. Even the knowledge of Thurber is relatively limited, I thought, even with the house they have there. But now with kiddies, the kiddies not really caring about this stuff. It's going to get lost. Someone like I think a great cartoonist is Jerry Dowling. I think Jerry's a terrific cartoonist. But he's kind of not quite entirely in retirement mode, but he basically is. He's not. I mean, who's reading a newspaper anymore? Sadly. Chris Mayock. There is Chris Mayock. Yes, you were here one other time, as I recall. And Block Brocus? Block Brocus. Hello. Thank y'all for being here. Oh, if you like any of this, please feel free to click. If I did more drawings like this, as I've said before, oh, there's Jaderade. Oh, Jaderade was asking about Jim Davis. Yes. Yeah, I would say Jim Davis wasn't. Well, no, no, no. I mean, Jack Davis was incredible. I mean, it became we were just, of course, I was running the National Cartoon Society Florida chapter. I had to deal with a lot of cartoonists. Not some I didn't really know. Will Eisner was a great guy, considering he was a really, really good guy. Dick Giordano was a great guy. I wish there's a guy I wish I could have spent a lot of time with, but he just didn't. When he moved to Palm Coast, he just really couldn't get out and about much. Who else? And then folks I didn't know Don Parolin, and I got to know Don, and Don and Becky became dear, dear friends of mine. I was at his funeral. Was that a little over a year ago now? Don was a terrific, terrific person. Another big guy. So yeah, I was going to say Guy Gilchrist is he appears, and what I remember, as being a real sweet, nice guy, despite his height. Don was a great guy. Duck Edwing. I love spending time with Duck. Bad Magazine. Duck was great. I miss Duck. He always said, if you're gonna leave your phone number or whatever, and you're a cartoonist, you draw something. Why would you just leave a phone number? You draw something. If you and his big thing was he never wanted to walk away from you without having you laughing. So he always ended with a joke, even though may have nothing to do with whatever was being talked about. I love that. I don't try to do that, but I do have it in my mind with folks. Duck's biggest problem was he smoked like a madman, which had a lot to do with his and his wife's death. So he's constantly having to leave to go smoke a cigarette. And there were people who did not like Duck. I think because he was always joking. Why don't I put all this time in this drawing? But thank you all for being here. Whoever's still here. I was going to ask. I don't know if Paranormal's still here, but did he ever read Chariots of the Gods, the Eric von Donigan stuff? I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just thinking about people getting along, and Guy Gilchrist being a strong Christian, Don Perlin being Jewish. If you had a faith amongst other cartoonists like the National Cartoon Society, you became less welcome. There was a low tolerance, and I'm sure there still is today, with the idea that if you have a faith that you have. That coexist thing didn't exist if you were of any faith. It didn't matter. And that shows a sad case of paranoia with folks. But I think it's hurt. I think it's hurt Guy, especially if you're open at all about it. And Don wasn't. But I think it affected him. But, Stan Goldberg and I talked a bit about that because he really didn't like when Archie started to go bent into a very kind of evil way. He just didn't want any part of that. And Jack Davis did not. He did a lot with Matt until they went too far, and he said, "Okay, that's enough of that. I don't need to be here." And I admire that because that takes guts to walk away and stand up for things. I think is so important to do. You need to stand up. That's getting on my political side. I don't care what you're standing up for. If you stand up for something, I don't be standing around a corner waving signs around. What a waste of time. Or you actually try to do things, get things done, which I'll be doing a bit of on Thursday again. I do love these Stabelos. Yeah, hopefully next week we'll be starting work on the Christmas print. Well, I don't know if anyone's here anymore. Okay, I didn't see that Sean left. Well, hopefully this is okay. But I might work on this book project here, or I need to run out tomorrow and go work on it. Time is it? I don't even know. 2:42, almost 3. I think it's real important to establish sea scenes by making sure you have some shadows of other sea creatures. Actually, that was a bad place to put that. That was a good place, but that was a bad place. meaning to. I've I've worked on the Christmas print over on Facebook before. I don't think I've ever done it here, but I'll determine the size. I hope this Thursday. I think I'm gonna do it smaller, just so I can do that. I really need to get about. I really want to do 2 or 3 of them this year. I've got to get them done soon. And I have another Christmas card to get done too. My dear friend Dr. Steve Brooks. And I've got a book, and I've got 2 more I'm meeting about on Friday. I got stuff to do. I just don't like how that knife's not showing up. If I keep making it darker, I'm gonna overpower this guy. I can do anything I want here. This isn't for a client. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Now the tentacles stand out more. You gotta be bold with your blacks. You gotta be bold with dark. Struggling with it all 46 years. Different points I'll get into, and then I'll back out and I'll get into it. Tell you, looking at Alex Tothel, I've got the 3 volume set over here. There's a guy who had no fear of blacks. Tell your story, tell your stories, tell your story. Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know if I helped that or not. Maybe I'm overworking it. Probably so. But I think he's looking more like he's whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The rest are behind him someplace. And yeah, I could probably come in here and just do a little bit of this, even though there should be shadows, and just suddenly now he's showing up even more. Of course, this is running out of ink. Should keep edges. I'll, I'm way behind posting. When I get off here, I'll start scanning in. I think the last 3 days I haven't scanned in. I'm really tired. I helped a friend get to the doctor's office on Friday, early morning, and it really messed me up for the last couple days. Especially Saturday, I was a mess. Oh, I've got this. Why don't I use this? Got ink in it. Come on. Oh, one thing that's in his, and you can see Sean the Archivist. You can find that on Facebook. Oh, and Paranormal's got a Facebook page here too. You need to remember to tell them, please post your links. I want to. If you're here to support me, I'll certainly support you. But in Sean the Archivist one, he has Milk Caniff, someone else I only met once, and I wish I could have met more. Brilliant inker, illustrator, storyteller. No reason to learn all he knew today because there's just nowhere for you to go with it. Well, I go over and start working on these book illustrations. This is a completely different subject. It's more what I'm probably better at, which is cute, cuddly, fuzzy critters. Funny folks think I only draw alligators and cute, fuzzy critters, and I really like doing that because we don't have a lot of happiness these days, unfortunately. People want to be sad and upset about everything. But I can do this stuff too. I think that's confusing in there. I'm going to go ahead and just fill that in. Yeah, that is confusing, that whole rock thing. I really did confuse it with all the line work. Well, you take some chances. It works, and sometimes it don't. Yeah, I think actually that just helped things a bit. So I do this just to challenge myself, and that's a big thing. Make sure I can keep doing things off the top of my head. Very important to me. My brain keeps working. Well, I've done worse. It'll do, I guess. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anything you'd like to see me try to draw or draw, uh, please feel free to throw that in. Challenge me. I love it. Love it. Okay. Did I sign it? No, I did not sign it. Let me sign it. Someplace obscure. No one will ever see it. I don't know what this was for. This is the 13th, isn't it? For what it's worth. Next, to go draw some cute little turtles. Thank you all for being here. I may be back today. I may be back. I'll probably be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'd like to say I'll be back here at noon, but probably won't be till the way I go about things. It probably won't be till 2. That's the way it goes sometimes. Also need to make some jello. Thank you for being here. We'll see y'all next time. Rob Smith here. Thank you. Take care. Bye. Good night.